25, after finishing his magnum opus, The Great Gatsby, F. Scott Fitzgerald started working on his fourth novel, Tender in the Night. This is Hemingway's response with a few helpful hints.
Dear Scott, I liked it, and I didn't. It started off with that marvelous description of Sarah and Gerald, and then you started fooling with them, making them come from things they didn't come from, changing them into other people, and you can't do that, Scott. If you take real people and you write about them, you can't give them other parents than they have. They are made by their parents and what happens to them. You can't make them do anything they would not do. You can take you or me or Zelda or Pauline or Hadley or Sarah or Gerald, but you have to keep them the same, and you can't make them do anything they would not do. You can't make one be another. Invention is the finest thing, but you cannot invent anything that would not actually happen. That's what we're supposed to do when we're at our best. Make it all up, but make it up so truly that later it will happen that way. Damn it, you took liberties with people's pasts and futures and produced not people, but damned marvelously faked case histories. You, who can write better than anybody can, who are so lousy with talent that you have to. The hell with it. Scott, for God's sake, write and write truly, no matter who or what it hurts, but don't make these silly compromises. You could write a fine book about Sarah and Gerald if you knew enough about them and they would not have any feeling except passing if it were true. There once were wonderful places and people, but you cheated too damned much in this one, Scott, and you don't need to. In the first place, I've always claimed that you can't think. All right, I'll admit you can think, but say you couldn't. Then you ought to write, invent out of what you know, and keep people's antecedents straight. Second place, a long time ago, you stopped listening except to the answers to your own questions. You had good stuff in there too that it didn't need. That's what dries a writer up. We all dry up, that's no insult to you in person. Not listening. That's what it's all about. Seeing, listening. You see well enough, but you stop listening. It's a lot better than I say, but it's not as good as you can do. You could study Clausewitz in the field of economics and psychology, but none of that will do you any bloody good once you are writing. We are like lousy damned acrobats, but we make some mighty fine jumps, Bo, and there are all these other acrobats that won't jump. For God's sake, write and don't worry about what the boys will say, nor whether it'll be a masterpiece, nor what. Forget your personal tragedy. We're all screwed from the start, and you especially have to hurt like hell before you can write seriously. But when you get the damned hurt, use it. Don't cheat with it. About this time, I wouldn't blame if you gave me a burst. God, it's marvelous to tell other people how to write, live, die, etc. Go on and write. Anyways, I'm damn fond of you, and I'd like to have the chance to talk sometimes. We had good times talking. How's Scotty and Zelda? Pauline sends her love. We're all fine. We have a fine boat. I'm going good on a very long story. It's a hard one to write. Always your friend, Ernest.